Y'all thought I was done talking about mental health? Nah, this is about to become a series because this needs to be talked about. Doesn't get talked about enough, in my personal opinion. We're gonna get into it. Cue the intro. Welcome back to Lawn Dude Unearthed. Now, if you're hearing this real time, this is probably about the 11th time I recorded a podcast today for on the same subject. I know you would never notice if I didn't tell you, but I'm trying to bring the low light reel as well as the highlight reel. So I want to talk about the behind the scenes, the things we go through. Um, it's just been tough for me to get the proper audio I would like for this podcast, as well as to stay on topic the way I would like to for this episode because it means that much to me. This is another edition of mental health. June is also the month of mental health awareness for males mental health awareness. So it works out perfectly that Father's Day falls where it does in the month of June. So real time, Father's Day is this Sunday. Can't even remember the date. I guess it's be June 16th, I believe. Yep, because real time, when I'm recording this, it is Friday night. It is June 14th right now. But I'm going to go ahead and say that, I want to go ahead and throw the shout out to my dad for being a great example of what a man should be, of what a husband should be, what a father should be, and what a provider should be. God bless me with a great example, in my dad. And I know there's so many out there that don't have a great example. I know many of them who don't have a great example for a father. And it's like I tell them all the time, that just means that you do that much better of a job when you become a father, if you're not one already. So, once again, this is probably the 11th time I've recorded a podcast today. Just because I want this one to go right. But here I go right here, not being so scripted as I was actually trying to be for this one. I did show prep for this episode, but I always do best on podcasts when I actually freestyle, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I hope that this doesn't sound too bad and that people are still listening to what I have to say today. But today, it is the Father's Day edition of Mental Health. So I do want to start this out with asking, did you check on your people, man? Did you check on your people? And how you doing? How you feeling? How is your mental right now? Are you bringing positivity to those around you? Are you keeping those around you that keep positivity? That's key as well. Now, today, one thing I would like to go ahead and speak on is I already shouted out my dad. I also want to shout out the other male role models I've had in my life that have had positive impacts. I had my dad. I had Mr. Hoover, who had a pivotal role as well. Also had Mr. Bobby at some point in time, and there are countless others that I could say have been great male role models, as well as I surround myself with excellent fathers, excellent husbands. That's just how my circle is. I'm not trying to brag at all, but one thing I do recommend to help you with your mental health is getting around people who have the same goals in mind as you. Like, you have goals to be a great father. I suggest you get around guys who are great fathers and not guys who are deadbeats. I can't understand how anybody could actually choose to be a deadbeat. It's one thing if you have some situations going on with court or something like that, but if you just give up and don't even try to be a father, or if you just give up and don't even try to do something for your marriage, do something for your spouse, it's tough to respect that, man. It's tough for others to respect that, and that's the type of people I don't keep in my circle. So today's podcast, is going to be kind of directed towards the men. Once again, it is a Father's Day edition, but it's not just for men to hear this. Now, we have many jobs as fathers. We have many jobs as husbands, as men, as the providers. We have to balance fatherhood and self-care. We have to manage stress. We have to try to have a work-life balance, which, by the way, there is no such thing as a work-life balance. It's just doing the best you can whenever you can. You can block out all the time you want to, but you always just have to do your dead level best. Pray to God that He makes a way for you to manage your time the best way you can. But we also deal with our emotions, which is why a lot of us men deal with the mental health issues. We bottle our emotions a lot to be strong for those that we love. We gotta, be in communication with our spouse. That honestly is probably one of the number one things right there. Being on the same page with your spouse is a game changer. That's one thing I could say, and I would have to say I believe my wife and I are good at. We keep in great communication about everything. We have to be support systems for all those around us who we love. I mean, I get it. Not all men are that way, but at least I know most of the men around me who I keep in my circle. We're always there to try and be the strong person for all those that we love around us. So we're that support system. We're the role models. We try our hardest to be role models. A lot of us do. And when we recognize that we're being overly stressed out, before our mental health is completely shot, we got to do our best to prevent the burnout. And I've had podcast episodes before this talking about ways that I combat burnout, try to avoid the burnout. I guess another thing I could add is this past week alone, with the kids out of school, I'm able to get on my first properties at 7 a.m. So I have been getting off early every day this past week. Talk about something that helps you with burnout. Yes, you're getting out at the crack of dawn, so to speak. But when you're getting done super early and you're rolling through your route, trust me, it's worth it. Something about being a father, at least I can speak to for me when it comes to this. Being a father for me is one of the best jobs that you can have. and it takes precedence over the physical job you have that actually makes money. Because being a father will change your life forever. Those who haven't had the opportunity to be a father yet, or you're expecting and will be a father in the near future, what you're going to hear is a bunch of people telling you what to expect, how to do this, how to do that. None of it works. Once you have a kid, it is complete on the job training, so to speak. You learn as you go. Every kid is different. You learn as you go. It gets to the point where you know the different sounds that your kids make. You can read them and know exactly when something is wrong with them. Heck, you can read it and be able to tell when they want something or they're about to ask you for something. That all comes with parenthood. But as fathers, we really need to show examples as role models. One thing I always try to do in front of my kids, it doesn't matter if my wife and I, if I got off work and I give my wife a kiss when I come home and it's just us two in the room and then the kids walk in afterwards, it doesn't matter if I already done gave my wife a kiss, showed her love, and, wrapped my arms around her. When the kids come in, there are times when, we might want to do that again in front of them. Because I don't ever want to shy away from showing affection in front of my kids. I want them to see how I love their mother, so that our son, who is the oldest, can see how he should treat one day, how he should treat a young lady, so that our daughter one day can see how a man should treat her. While on the topic of role model, that goes with just getting up and going to work. That goes with getting up early. You gotta set the pace. If you're telling them to work out, you should be working out too. That is one thing I had to do because both our kids play sports. One thing I had to do was, no matter how much of a gym it feels like I'm in and day out, when I get up and lace up my boots to go to work, I still do my best to get out there and work out with the kids, no matter how tired I am. And trust me, there's so many days where I'm so drained. Last thing I want to do is go out and work out or ride bikes, for exercise or anything of that nature. There are a lot of days, I do mean a lot of days, where I come in kind of burned out from the day, where I don't have the energy to do that. But when I can, I do just that. And we go out on these bikes, or, a lot of times our son will grab his baseball bag, our daughter will grab her soccer stuff, and we'll just go out and do some training. So as a role model, I hope you're doing everything knowing that this younger generation's always watching. I hope you guys got my point on support systems. When I talk about my circle, I'm talking about the support system. I know our group, the group that I'm usually in, we hold each other accountable. And then we also do brother check-ins, as I've said a couple podcasts ago. We do brother check-ins to make sure each other is doing well. Each of us are doing well. Work-life balance. Back to work-life balance, man. And I'm going to say yet again, There really is no work-life balance. You do your best to balance both, but you're always going to kind of fall short somewhere. And in my case, I just make sure if I'm going to fall short a little bit on the work-life balance, I'm going to fall short on the work part. You know how many times people pick to just sit around and, just pray that the work-life balance thing works? Nah, in our case, we've been in the situation long enough to know no matter how hard you try with work-life balance, you're not able to get that work-life balance going. All you can do is your best at all times. And then balancing fatherhood and self-care. It is completely important for you to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of your health, you're not able to be here for those that you love. I know for me, one thing that's been important for me is staying in shape, eating the right stuff, doing the right stuff. Because last thing I want to do is cause myself to not be here for those that I love. I've seen too many people willing to risk it all, and their health deteriorates because they don't want to take the precautions. They don't care. They're just going to do it their way. So, I say all this to say this is my topic on mental health. Once again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. Reason why mental health is so important for us is because a lot of us bottle stuff in, even right now, this moment. Guilty. I am guilty as can be when it comes to that. But all we can do is our best, man, at all times. Think that's all I have on this subject. Once again, shout out to all the wonderful fathers who helped us with this project for sure. And I do want to thank God for constantly blessing us to grow. So that's all I have for today. Y'all take it easy, and please, please, please remember to check on your people, man. Check on your doggone people. And be sure to check your mental. Check your health. Make sure you stay on top of everything to make sure that you're here. Make sure to stay shaded. It is going to be hot next week. But that is all I have with me. Y'all be blessed. Y'all take it easy. Be blessed. Peace. Thank you for listening to Lawn Dude Unearthed, where we dive into deep topics, discussing not only the highlight reels, but we talk about the lowlight reels, the struggles, the successes. Anything we want to talk about for today, we will cover on this podcast. Once again, I appreciate you for listening to this. If you can, please give us a 5-star review. We are currently on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and still working on a few more. Thanks again for listening to us. Y'all be blessed. Peace.